right, let's get into the sport analysis CEU of rugby. So some rules of the sports that affect the training include tackling, scrum, line out lifting, no blocking, the offside line. You have the forwards position, which is props, hookers, and locks. You have the backs, which is centers, wings, and full backs. We'll get into more detail soon. Scoring of the sport. So here's some terminology that I had to learn for the sport. You have the try, which equates to 5 points. The primary method of scoring, a player grounds the ball in the opponent's in goal area. Conversion, which is worth 2 points. A kick taken after a try is scored, giving the scoring team a chance to add extra points. You have the penalty goal, which is 3 points awarded when the opposing team commits a serious foul. You have the drop goal, which is also worth 3 points, scored during open play. A player drops the ball onto the ground and kicks it through the uprights and over the crossbar immediately after it bounces. So, some key performance indicators of this sport. You have maximal strength. This measures absolute lower body force generation, which is the foundation for all contact and propulsion on the field. So, an example of this while training could be back squat, 1 rep maxing it, trap bar, deadlifts as well. You have power, which is a huge component of it. The counter movement jump is a good example of training for the sport. Measures vertical jump height, flight time, and peak power output, indicating lower body explosiveness. You have reactive strength that measures the ability of the muscles to absorb force and quickly reapply it, which is key for repeated sprints and quick changes of direction. You also have isometric mid-thigh pull. This measures maximal pulling force against a fixed bar, height specific to holding static positions in a scrum or a maul. Physical demand of the sport. You have the aerobic capacity, a strong aerobic base being essential for a faster recovery between bursts of effort. Training uses maximal aerobic speed sessions and longer interval runs. You have repeat sprint ability, the ability to execute multiple maximal efforts with minimal drop off in speed or power. Training involves high intensity interval training with work to rest ratios that match the game. You have agility and multi-directional speed. These drills must include rapid changes of direction, deceleration drills, and reactive agility training. Going on to strength endurance and power endurance, the ability to repeat forceful actions under fatigue, moving weight or moderate reps, and high collision game based training. And then lastly, you have maximal speed and speed endurance, focus max velocity sprint work, technical running mechanics, and running drills that cover the full field distance. So in training for the sport, which we touched on a little bit earlier, you're going to focus on maximal strength, that is heavy compound lifts to increase absolute force generating capacity. You're also focusing on power, which is explosiveness, training movements that emphasize rapid force development, such as Olympic lifts and plyometrics. You have core stability and neck strain, specific conditioning for spinal bracing and neck isometric holds to prevent injury during impacts. Now, some moves that are banned from the sport. You have the high tackling or attempting to tackle an opponent above the line of the shoulders. You have the spear or the tip tackle, lifting an opponent off the ground and dropping or driving them so that their head and or upper body makes contact with the ground first. Ouch. You have the shoulder charge, making contact with the player carrying the ball using the shoulder without attempting to wrap the arms around the player. You also have no arms tackle or stiff arm, using a stiff arm to strike an opponent. And then tackling a player in the air, tackling, charging, pulling, or pushing an opponent whose feet are off of the ground. Those are no bueno. Some common injuries in the sport. So for the forwards, you have commonly concussion, shoulder injuries, neck strains, and injuries of the ribs. And for the backs positions, you have hamstring strains, ACL, MCL injuries, and ankle sprains most often. Now, divvying this up into training segments or phases for their training, let's start with the off season. So you're going to be focusing on maximal strength, that is high volume, moderate intensity. You're going to focus on compound lifts such as back squats preferred, deadlifts, bench press, overhead press, focusing on sets 3 to 5 sets of 6 to 10 repetitions. You're also focusing on hypertrophy, higher rep ranges, and accessory work to increase muscle size. Preseason. The gym work shifts away from the high volume muscle building off the off season and towards maximizing power and rate of force development. So we're focusing on conversion to power, substituting heavy lifts with explosive movements like Olympic lifts, like cleans, which I'll show you in a little bit. We also have box jumps and medicine ball throws. Also maintaining strength. Maintain maximal strength with lower volume, high intensity lifts once a week or twice a week. A running program designed to build the capacity for high speed running and rapid recovery. Also, HIIT, high intensity interval training, such as shuttle runs or block runs designed to reach and sustain maximal speed to improve recovery between efforts. Now we are in season. The focus in season is on maximizing availability for the next match, meaning minimal physiological stress introduced outside of the match itself. So we're looking at strength and power, maintaining maximal strength with low volume. The goal is to keep the neuromuscular system switched on without causing major muscle fatigue or soreness because they are in season. We do not want to compromise their ability to perform this sport. Here are some examples of exercises that I pulled from my readings that we could perform in training. And here I have a video from a previous assignment where we break down the different phases of the clean. Clean pull, and clean. Mhm. There we go. Mix it all together, get you a good little workout. All right, as we make our way down, here are the CEU questions. What is a primary method of scoring a try in rugby? Which physical demand is key for rapid changes of direction and deceleration? During the off-season, training for maximal strength focuses on which repetition range? What is a spear or tip tackle? Which of the following is considered a key performance indicator for rugby according to this document? In season training, primarily focuses on which goal? Which positions typically experience hamstring strains and ACL, MCL injuries, according to this document? What is the value of a conversion kick after a try is scored? What is required for a scrum or maul engagement according to the rules of the sport that affect training? How is a drop goal scored during open play? Those are 10 questions for CEU. You will reference the previous document to help you answer these questions. Here you can find my references for all the information in this sports analysis. And once again, here are physical examples of Olympic-based movements that can contribute to a rugby player's training.